I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet. I've got it right.
Hello everybody. In today's video I'm gonna share with you guys 3 masala oats or savory oats recipes. The first one that I'm gonna share with you guys is this garlic, mushroom and spinach oats. To start off with, I'm gonna finely chop some fresh spinach and set them aside. Next, I'm gonna slice some mushrooms. I'm using the button mushrooms, but if you like any other kind of mushrooms, you can use it as well. And for whatever reason, if you don't eat mushrooms, then you can swap it with any vegetable of your choice. I like mushrooms and spinach because they are higher in proteins and they literally contribute to no calories whatsoever. Then I'm gonna mince about 3 cloves of garlic. If you're not good at finely chopping them, then you can actually crush them into a paste in your blender jar. Into a pan, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of coconut oil, the sliced mushrooms, the garlic, a little bit of salt to season and stir everything. I'm gonna continue to cook on a high flame until the mushrooms release most of their liquid and kind of completely wilt. Then I'm going to add the washed and chopped spinach and continue to stir and cook for a couple of minutes until the spinach is also completely cooked and wilted down. Then I'm gonna add about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, half a spoonful of red chili powder and half a teaspoon of coriander powder. I'm gonna stir everything together until the mushrooms and the spinach are coated with the spice mixture. I'm also gonna allow the spices to cook for a couple of minutes before I add my oats. I'm using whole rolled oats over steel cut oats because I read somewhere that these have more proteins and fiber as compared to the steel cut oats. I'm gonna link the brand that I'm using below in the description box, but for whatever reason, if you don't want to use it, well, steel cut oats work just fine in this recipe. Now I'm gonna add about twice the amount of water. So I used 1 cup of oats, so I'm using 2 cups of water. I'm just gonna let this come up to boil, adjust the seasoning, cover and let it cook for about 10 minutes. After which time you should find it bubbly, the oats almost completely cooked, and because I like it a little bit soupy, I'm gonna turn the heat off now. But if you like yours to be a little bit drier, you can continue to cook this for 5 more minutes. I'm gonna serve this onto my plate and sprinkle some black sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are one of the best ways to get essential fats naturally into your system, so I'm gonna sprinkle them and have this for my breakfast. Now, if you could swap the mushroom for a different vegetable, what would you swap it for? Let me know in the comments below. The next masala oats recipe has a Chinese twist to it, and to make it, I first chop up a handful of broccoli florets. Then I'm gonna also slice and chop some carrots into small cubes. I'm also going to slice some spring onions. Into a pan, I'm gonna heat about a tablespoon of coconut oil and add the spring onions. Once the spring onions begin to cook, I'm gonna add the carrots, the broccoli and a handful of frozen peas. I'm gonna stir everything together until they're semi-cooked and add about half a cup of oats. Again, I'm using the rolled oats, but if you want to use the regular quick cooking steel cut oats, then that's fine too. I'm gonna add about a cup of water and let this come to a boil. Once this boils, I'm gonna add a splash of soy sauce. Now soy sauce is salty, so I'm not going to add any more salt to this. But to add some more heat, I'm going to also use some chili sauce as well. I'm gonna stir everything to mix, cover and let it cook for about 5 to 10 minutes until all the vegetables and the oats are cooked. To serve, I'm gonna sprinkle some more spring onions over the top. And because I also love having my breakfast with some tea, I'm making myself some rose tea to go along with this Chinese style masala oats. This last kind of masala oats is inspired by good old kichdi, and to start off with, I'm going to finely chop some onions. I'm also going to cut up some tomatoes into wedges and further chop it into small cubes. I also like my breakfast oats to be loaded with vegetables, so I'm chopping a whole bunch of green beans into 1-inch pieces. I'm also cutting up some carrots into small cubes. Into a pan, add a teaspoon of coconut oil. If you're not used to eating coconut oil, you can add any other oil of your choice. But if you want me to link the coconut oil that I'm using, I will add it below in the description box. Once the oil is hot, I am going to sprinkle some mustard seeds, cumin seeds, onions and stir until cooked. Then I'm going to add some tomatoes. I'm going to also season it with salt, turmeric, red chili powder and coriander powder and mix everything. Once the tomatoes are kind of cooked, I'm going to add both the beans and the carrots and some more fresh peas. I love fresh peas, they are very high in proteins. And speaking of proteins, I'm adding about half a cup of soaked moong dal. Moong dal again is so high in protein and it is so essential for our kichdi. To this I am going to add about 3/4 of a cup of rolled oats. Again, use whichever oats you find is more convenient for you. Add about 4 cups of water and let this cook. Now because this recipe has got moong dal in it, it takes a little while longer. So for me it took about half an hour to cook, but if you don't have that kind of time on hand, it's actually a good idea to cook everything into a pressure cooker, and that helps cut your cooking time literally by half. I'm gonna serve this into my plate, sprinkle some fresh coriander and just dig in. If you happen to make any of my recipes, then take a picture and share it with me on Instagram. Tag me and also use the hashtag #FitWithRanju so I will know them, and I'll also share them on my own stories as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely breakfast. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.